Hey man, I don't know what's up, but another client ghosted me and I've had 3 refunds in the last month. I know you guys are running ads. Who are you guys targeting? I guess any dentist who's lost, broke, and emotionally crumbling. That kind of sounds like therapy, but for a discount. Oh, I see. I need to target the super broke next time. I read you. You secretly hate money, don't you? What's up guys, it's Frankie here. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to create ads for rich people. You could also use this to create social media posts, content, videos, emails, cold emails, you name it. It's the same basic process. And the flip side of that, by the way, if there was a sub-headline, it would be to stop doing what everybody else does, which is stop fucking writing ads to broke motherfuckers. For those of you guys who don't know me already, my name's Frankie Finn. I wrote these 2 best-selling books, Beyond the Agency Box, Passive Automated Recurring Income. I've also built up 3 of my own agencies, up to 100 plus clients over 20 years. And I've also helped thousands of people like you to live this more beach, less laptop lifestyle. Let's talk about how to write ads for rich people. So, I say this lovingly, but most of you guys out there who have tried running ads and tried sending messages, you mostly write ads for broke people problems and not for rich people problems. And a lot of times, by the way, there's also some mindset stuff where people think, you know, I'm not really ready to work with a really successful business that's making a lot of money, that's rich. You know what I'm going to do? I'll work with a bunch of broke, struggling people, and then I'll figure it out. And that's like thinking, hey, I'm not ready to date the prom queen, so I'm going to date 6 crackhead cave trolls that are super ugly, and I'll work my way up there slowly, which is kind of like this.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.
No offense taken. So let's talk about words that tend to attract really broke people. Are you struggling? Are you frustrated? Are you overwhelmed with? Right? So rather than pick on somebody else out there, when you create ads like these, like I did in the beginning, I created ads that said, hey, are you struggling for clients? Do you desperately need to be able to sign some clients this month? And I ended up getting a bunch of attorneys that reached out to me and filled out stuff. And by the way, I would often have like a long 60-minute call, and I would get to the end of the call and they would go, ain't got no money. And I'll tell you how I felt on the inside when that happened. Kind of like this.
Prosecutor, why you think you done it?
Okay, number 1, Your Honor. Just look at him.
He talks like a fag, too.
So I'm going to show you guys this in a few different industries, but we want to talk to rich people problems, okay? So one of the problems that rich people have, by the way, is when it comes to marketing, they still need work for their team. So that has a lot of different flavors. With rich people, it could be, I need work for my paralegal. It could be, if it was a dentist, I need work for my hygienist. If it's a general contractor, like my crews of guys are standing around half the time. Or if it was like a dance studio, like half the time the studio is empty on the west side. We got 3 locations, but our west side is lagging behind, right? So we want to speak to, I'm gonna show you guys, by the way, an example of a different ad for targeting rich people problems versus poor people. We also want to talk about things related to payroll, the importance of being able to manage payroll and overhead. Right? These are people who could be making millions, by the way. And just for clarification's sake, by the way, I used to believe that we should target the broke, struggling people, because these are the people who need marketing, and these are the people who got it all figured out, and they don't have any problems related to marketing anyway. And it's actually really the opposite, is these ones over here, because they don't fundamentally believe in marketing and ergo don't want to do it. They don't really see any problems. As we're over here, like when I would deal with like $100 million law firms, when it came to advertising just on TV, like and they would be simultaneously running 20 different media, including SEO, pay-per-click, Facebook ads, YouTube, posting on Instagram every day, Google pay-per-click. Sometimes they'd be on TikTok, and then there's the real life stuff, you know, billboards, radio, bus stop ads, TV. And just with TV alone, they would have to figure out shooting commercials. They would have to schedule them. They would have to sometimes check with the state bar and see if they're allowed to use this testimonial or say that thing. They would have to edit the videos. They would have to deal with like 8 or 9 different TV stations with negotiating prices and stuff like that. And so even though they were rich and they were successful, they actually had 10 times the amount of marketing problems as over here. And so if you end up like writing your stuff to broke people, so imagine, for example, we're writing an ad that says, hey, are you lonely on a Saturday night? Are you a broke, desperate loser? Do you have nothing to do? Is nobody interested in you? Does nobody find you attractive? And obviously I'm exaggerating this, but who do you think is going to respond to that kind of ad? I'll tell you who. It looks kind of like this.
What you talking about, Willis?
So I want you to imagine now we're writing a dating ad, and this time we say, hey, do you have a really successful career and you're super busy with your travel schedule, but because you're so successful and busy, you haven't really had the time to find Mrs. Right, and you'd love for somebody to help you kind of filter and narrow the process a little bit so that you could just find somebody who's on your level. Who do you think we're writing an ad for? And by the way, over here, you tend to get like 1/10 of the response, and yet you'll make 10 times the money even though we're aiming at a lot less people. So in the beginning, a lot of my ads said, hey, do you need clients? Are you struggling to get clients? Do you have no clients coming in the door? And the people who called me, by the way, were broke and struggling. And over here, I would say, hey, are you finding that TV ads cost you more than $1,000 for a signed case, and that leaves you unable to make a profit after payroll and overhead and things like that. And what would happen is I would get the TV lawyer who had a $300,000 a month advertising budget and would say, sure, we'll give you 10, 20 grand to try your thing out and see how it goes. And they were used to spending money, by the way. And so, by the way, when we would start talking with the clients who were like broke and struggling, sometimes the things they would say about marketing, oh, I tried that, marketing doesn't work 30 years ago and blah, blah, blah. And they had all these sort of sob stories. And often, almost always, their sales process was broken and they took no ownership over that. And you would kind of just want to look at them like this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I'm going to give you guys another example of this. Imagine, for example, let's say we ran an ad for a broke person and it said, hey, are you trying to lose weight because you're struggling to afford anything else other than just fast food? Well, who are we going to get, by the way? Somebody who can only afford fast food. I want you to compare that to somebody who says, hey, is it really hard to be healthy because you got a busy, successful career and you know you could stand to lose 10 or 15 pounds, but you don't really have the time in your schedule to exercise? Who do you think we're going to get over here? And this is one of the biggest secrets, by the way, to making successful advertising campaigns, whether you're doing this with outreach, because a lot of times what people do is they conceptualize in their mind, my niche is dentist, my niche is e-commerce, and they treat these as if every person in the industry is the same. But in reality, by the way, there's a spectrum. And if you could put like 10 of them in a room, there would be one guy, like if this is a bar chart, who would spend more than the other 10, and there would be 1 or 2 guys who spend a fair amount on advertising, and there would be, most of the people would be broke and spend next to nothing. And a lot of times, not only do these people, are they broke, they don't even want to grow or believe fundamentally in advertising. So you really have to convince them, A, advertising works, and B, I'm a good solution. Over here, they're already spending money on these kind of things. You don't have to convince them that they should spend money, and they'll say things, by the way, like, hey, like a rich TV lawyer say, we allocate 10% of everything we make to marketing. A broke, struggling lawyer will say, budget. They'll say, I'll give you $200. You go try it and see if you can make me a millionaire. And they view this as gambling. Over here, they view this as, like, this is just a process and we just have to intelligently spend our money. But there's no question we're going to spend our money on growth. And so what ends up happening is, most people go into it thinking that my target market is any dentist, my target market is any plumber, my target market is really anyone with a credit card. And in doing so, then they logically think the person who needs it is the person who's struggling, frustrated, and can't make shit work. And I see this all the time where your click-through rates are good, your cost per call is good, and yet the people who are getting on the phone with you are like broke, desperate people who fundamentally don't believe in marketing. And even when you get these people and sign them as clients, they're expecting overnight miracles. As over here, often these people have been advertising like 20, 30 years. They understand the process already because they've been doing it long before you showed up. In fact, they're already spending money now, so you don't have to convince them the values and things like that of spending money. And by the way, this is one of the things we have very sophisticated tools for inside of our Wolfpack Mastermind, is to identify the people in the industry that are spending all the money at the click of a button, really at the speed of light, so that you can create valuable stuff for the people who can actually afford it. Imagine that crazy idea. By the way, this is how awesome it is.
Select your player.
So if there's one takeaway I can give you guys with this video is stop writing ads, stop creating outreach, stop creating content for broke motherfuckers, and start creating ads for rich people. And I promise you, the prom queen, the rich guy, actually has more marketing and advertising problems and a bigger budget to pay for it. And it makes sense for them at that level to dump this work off on somebody else because they already have too much to do. Like I mentioned, the rich personal injury lawyer with a $100 million law firm, they got 27 things they got to manage with TV. They got another 27 with billboards. Then they got radio spots. Then they got ads, pay-per-click, 17 different websites, etc., etc. A Spanish version, they got to get it translated. If you can come in and solve a problem and help them, like such as, hey, we can get you cases cheaper than $1,000 a piece so you can actually keep something as the owner, these people will pay you year after year after year after year after year. And by the way, they'll also mostly just leave you the fuck alone as a client. They're actually so much lower maintenance because they tend to be busier. They got shit going on, right? Their calendar is already full long before you showed up. In fact, just a little story, but I remember the first time I walked through a law firm with a $100 million lawyer, they had like this giant, like 3-story building. It was probably, I don't know, like took 60 seconds to walk from one end to the other. Kind of office building. And I remember we walked from one end of the hallway to the other, and in doing so, he got asked 20 questions in about 60 seconds. What do you want me to do with the files? Put them over there. What do you want me to do about this? Send that to Wendy. What about this? We still waiting on an answer from blah, blah, blah. And like there were 20 different updates in that period of time. They already have too much to do. So I want you to imagine it's like a rich person like spinning 20 plates. The ultimate offer is when you come in and say, hey, I can sort this thing for you and I can take 3 of those plates off you. I'll just take care of the TV. I'll take care of the radio, the billboards, the SEO, the pay-per-click, whatever it is you're worried about. Broke people, you're selling a dream of a better tomorrow, but it's very much like a lottery mentality. Is they're looking for, hey, I'm going to bet on black. I'll give you $500. This is my last $500. You better make me rich, motherfucking marketing guy. And so stop writing fucking ads for broke people and start writing ads for rich people. End of the rant. I'm going to drop the microphone. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to subscribe, and may the force be with you.
Buy my book, or I will sign you up for interpretive dance lessons composed by an angry mind.